Hello, this is Mr. Stein, and in this video we're going to look at drawing and building 3D shapes. We're going to learn how to draw 4 3D shapes: rectangular prisms, triangular prisms, rectangular base pyramids, and cylinders. So let's get started. Now, you're not going to use a ruler for these. You're going to use the grids on some grid paper. And we're going to draw them fairly small so that you can draw them without using a ruler and keep the lines pretty straight. We're going to start off with rectangular prisms. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on the front face. And for this front face, I'm just drawing on a square. Now, I'm going to do this simply. I'm going to draw 3 diagonal lines, one from each vertex going back. And I just did them at 45-degree angles, so across one grid. And then I connect these guys up with a line. It's just like that. Now, there are some edges on this. This looks like a cube to me. There are some edges that are hidden. And we can indicate those by using dashed lines. So I have those back here, right there. And voila, I have a rectangular prism. Right, I can look. It's got, here's the front face right here. Here's a side face, top face. There's a bottom, there's a back, and there's the other side. There's a bunch of vertices. All right, let's draw another one. This time I'm going to go for a thinner rectangular prism. So I'm going to draw my front face. And I want this to be a long, thin box. So now I'm going to go back a couple of squares, like that. And then connect up. Now I try to keep everything on my grid line so that it's easy for me to work with. Now you can see I've got my top, my front, and my right side faces. If I want to show the edges in the back, I do dashed lines. Those are 2 rectangular prisms that were pretty easy to draw. Now let's take a look at triangular prisms. All right, to draw a triangular prism, I just start by drawing a triangle. Now I'm going to start with a right triangle that looks like this. Then I draw 2 lines for those 2 guys. And there we go. There's my triangular prism. I've got my front face and I've got my side face. Now, if I wanted to draw the edges that are behind the triangle, and I can't see them, I use dashed lines, and I would draw them like this, so they'd match up. Can you see how to draw these? It's pretty simple. Now let's draw another triangular prism. This time I'm going to draw an isosceles triangle that goes through these points. There's my front face. Now I draw out these 2 lines, the same distance, and I connect them. Oh, I didn't connect those very good. There's my triangular prism. Now to draw out my my hidden edges in dashed lines, I'm going to draw a dashed line that's parallel to this line. Those 2 are parallel. Then I'm going to draw another dashed line here. That dashed line is parallel to this one right here. And then I draw another dashed line right here. And that one is parallel to this one right here. So this line and this line are parallel. This edge and this edge are parallel. This edge and this edge are parallel. Right, so the process is the same. Draw the front face, then draw a line up at an angle, and I've been using 45 degrees, and then draw the back of the triangular prism. All right, pyramids are a little bit different. Pyramids, we have to draw the base, the bottom. So I'm going to draw the bottom of a prism. I go like this, and then I go up at 45 degrees like this and like this. There's my rectangle. Then somewhere I look for the middle. The middle of this would be right here. Then I go straight up from the middle, however high I want, and I put a dot. That's the peak of my pyramid. Then I draw the edges. Now there's one edge that's kind of hidden and you can't really see it. It's back here. But because of the way I drew this pyramid, you can't really see that one. Let's try that again. I draw a front edge. Then I go back a little ways. This time I'm drawing it really long and skinny. Then I find the middle. I go up above the middle, and then I connect that point with the corners. Now this one you can see there's this back edge right there to that corner. Now in theory, that edge right there should be dashed. That edge right there should be dashed because they are inside. Just like on this one, this edge should be dashed because it's not actually seen. So let's try that again then, this time with a dash line. I draw this line and this line. Then I'm going to dash this line and this line. Find the middle, go up to a point, draw one line, two lines, three lines. Those are the three that are visible, and there's my dashed backline. There, that's a proper one. All right, lastly, cylinders. Well, you can draw cylinders two different ways. We can draw them upright cylinders or laying down cylinders. To draw a laying down cylinder, you just draw a circle. Then from this edge right here, draw a line going up, draw a line going up, draw this circle, and you can put a dashed line back here, indicating the other part of that circle. That's a pretty poorly done cylinder. Now, if you're drawing a cylinder that's upright, you have to draw a squash circle like this. Then you draw a line straight down, another line straight down. Then you draw the bottom part of the squashed circle, and then the back part you draw with a dashed line. That's how you go about drawing and building drawing 3D shapes. Now we're going to talk about building 3D shapes. So you're going to start with a picture that looks something like this. This is a net. This is a net for a cube. You can see it says cube there on the side. You need to cut it out and fold it. I've got one cut out and folded right here. And when you fold it, you need to make sure that you crease all of the folds really well. Just crease the folds. And these tabs are for gluing or taping. I would suggest taping is actually easier than gluing. Gluing, you can make it very nice if you can use glue. And white glue or glue stick works. I prefer white glue because it holds better in the long time. But you can also use tape. And for doing this quickly, I'm going to just use some tape. So you look for one face, two faces that come together at an edge. And I'm just going to put a little piece of tape over those two. Now, since I'm not decorating these up, the tape works very nicely. Take off a little piece of tape, just a little piece of tape. I look for two faces that come together at an edge, and I just tape them up. Put some tape there, line those guys up, fold my tape over. So you can glue them and then tape them to hold them while the glue dries. And I keep doing that until I'm done, until I've got this whole thing taped up. So I've just got a couple more pieces of tape that I really need to do, and you can decide how much tape you need to really hold it together. Like I said, if you want to do a neater job or you want to put designs on it, then you would need to use white glue. Tuck that guy in there, and voila, I got a nice cube. All right, well, I hope that video was helpful. If you have any questions about it, please contact me directly, and thank you for watching.